So we'll talk about open government data and service catalog. We'll talk about these two projects. So as for the data exchange agency, we'll talk about the main directions of its activities. I'm sure that most of you are aware of that. It's the electronic government coordination and support, from the development of the legal framework, information and cybersecurity development, and infrastructure of the integrated data and its implementation of this infrastructure. I'll briefly talk about the projects that are being implemented now, and these are the infrastructure of the data exchange that was established in 2012, the citizens portals that is based on this infrastructure, the exchange system of electronic data, open government portal, registry, and services catalog. I'll talk about two of them in detail, and then very briefly about the other projects. What are the open government, open data portal? The purpose of this project is to involve the citizens and to express their opinion and share their opinion with the government and to participate in the electronic data exchange program. As for you know that Georgia has acceded to the Electronic Partnership Open Electronic Governance Act, and we have this plans. We had the action plan for 2012 and 13 and 14, and after completing this project, so the government of Georgia will be more transparent and cooperate more closely with the citizens. Now let's talk about this logical process that are implemented in the open data portal, how the process is developed. The data are gathered and then treated by a human being, by one of the employees in one of the concrete agency. Then these data are converted according to the standards in CSV or XML format to be used further by other citizens or other agencies. This procedure is standardized, and these exported files then are communicated to the open data portal, and then they are recorded to the central server. And then they are inspected, but not in detail, whether these data so meet the preliminarily established standards, and then an administrator proves that these data might be published and they become available for the broader public. If the data have some errors, these data are returned to the organization that generated it or then that uploaded it for further development or improvement. It's the main page of this open data portal. It was so these data are not much because we have not received data from many organizations, but we are getting information on a daily basis. We treat and process this data information and then publish it on data point gov.g. It's the URL of this one. These are open data. There are applications that are going to be developed on the basis of this open data. There are instructions for developers which so instructs them how to use this data. There should be analytical trends as well. Based on this data, some information about the project and other textual material published on this website. This is the data set. It's open data published by one of the organizations. It's a list of different data. It's the accumulated data that is published on data.gov.g, and you can see the complete list of this data sets there, and there is a list of data sets with very brief descriptions of different datum, and every data, you can push this data set button and can see the detailed information about these data, what they concern, and who are the generators of these data, who is the owner of this data, what accompanying documents they have. It might also be interesting for the customer, and you can download these files and use for your own purposes as well. As you know, there is an analytical page proceeding from the fact that the data we have are not vast, so this analytical material is scanty, but we plan to develop and download and upload different analytical information, and you can see statistical information, how many times these data sets were viewed, how many times this or that data set was downloaded, and how many applications have been created. Applications have not been created yet at all, but I'm sure that Georgian customers will use this data and these applications. These are the requests for the open data. Any citizen can request the data that they couldn't find on this website. And the citizens that think that this data might be possessed by this or that agency but is not published here, they can request this information, and they might the portal administration gets this request and is referred to the relevant organization, and the relevant organization answers the question that was asked by the customer. Either they will provide them with this information or deny if they don't have this information. That was all about the open data portal, and now I'll talk about the services catalog that is very closely related to the open data. What is the services catalog? It's the list of those services that are integrated into the infrastructure of data exchange infrastructure. It was one of the projects that was on the second slide. So it means that the governmental organization provide the citizens, would like to provide them with different services. The information about the services is not openly available, or sometimes citizens ask us to provide them with access to the services catalog. So it will be a portal where all the electronic services would be enumerated and enlisted, and all these different services will be described, and all the technical documentation will be provided on this website. So any organization that is interested in developing or in using some information from the public registry or the Services Development Agency or electronic services from the Ministry of Finances, they will have this opportunity to view them online on this website, and then they can refer to us, to the agency, and we will provide them with these electronic services. Now these are the screenshots from this portal, from this services catalog portal. It's being developed. We have already created a document for functional analysis. So the developing process is going on now, and in one or 2 months' time, it will become available for the public. In the services catalog, there is a list, as I've already mentioned, there is a list of services that are integrated and integrated in the data exchange infrastructure. They can search for services, and as a result of the search, they can find the name of the service, the organization that can provide them with the services, the organization that can provide them with some relevant information, the degree of documentation. So in order to use the services, customers need some documents, and we have very minimal requirements for documenting the services and for evaluating whether these or those services are well documented or not. So there is a list of services with relevant percentages. So we can push any service, and the details will appear on the screen. Some detailed information, definition of the service, and the description of the service. So complete description of the contents of the service and technical description, technical information that the agency that possesses this information would like to upload on this portal. This is the request responses to this service. Maybe the developer wants this information for implementing different activities. And the owner of the so the contact information about of the owner of the service also will be on this portal, and the customers might contact them in order to specify some details. There is a logical services, one of the options that here. What is the logical service? Logical services that are on the customers' portal, citizens' portals. If personal information changes, if they want to so get this public registry document, or if they have some debts, and in the services catalog, the logical service is related to the services catalog, and I'd like to mention here as well that there will be given the connections or relations with the logical service of the MyGovG and the Registers Registry services. Registers Registry is one of the projects that we are implementing now. It means that every governmental organization has some information that it processes. It's the initial process of this information, and now we are so establishing the registers registry. So it means that there is a list of registries that different governmental organizations possess. So and how registries of different ministries or organizations is connected to other registries, this information also will be given there. And if we know that one organization introduced some changes into its registry, we will know how these changes will affect the operations of other organizations, and we can get ready beforehand. It's a kind of an early warning. So in the services catalog, there will be the services of MyGovG and its connections with the services of the registries register, with the registers registry, and it will simplify our activities. In the services catalog, there will be a list of customers that will use this data exchange services infrastructure, and it will be uploaded, the detailed information about these customers, their contract agreements, and and the list of services that they are using today, and we can see the history of these customers, so which services they have used before. In the services catalog, there will be uploaded the knowledge base that is based on the process of eradication of different incidents. So any problem or incident that frequently occurs and the customers face the problems as a result, these errors and these problems will be described in this data, in the knowledge base or thesaurus or this database, and it will be, of course, a great assistant to the customers and simplify their work in future. The contact information will be uploaded to this portal, of course, and I'd like to focus your attention to the interrelations between these different projects that we are implementing. The basis and foundation stone is the infrastructure of the data exchange that was established in 2012 due to the help and assistance of Microsoft and HP, and all the services are based on the data exchange infrastructure. The services catalog that I've mentioned is based on the data exchange infrastructure as well, is connected to the citizens portal. Data.gov.g is based on the data exchange. The infrastructure is connected to the citizens portal and the registries register. All these portals are interrelated, connected, and these interrelations will help us to implement all these projects in future and better implement all the projects. That's all briefly that I would like to share with you, and if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer them.